Diablo 4. So, what's bad? Can we compare Diablo to other action RPGs like Path of Exile? What's the opinion of a pro, of a maniac that's used to Path of Exile's endgame and to its complexity? How does Diablo stands against the Path of Exile? What are the actual flaws of the game? You know that I released first impression video and then I released a review after 30 hours, but I never talked about bad things and I never gave a proper feedback about the game. I don't want people to think how I only like the game and ignore its flaws. The dust has settled, hype is gone, and now I can think of clear mind of what's actually wrong in the game. So let's begin and let's see what is actually Diablo 4 to someone that searches for a perfect game, or better to say, for a proper action RPG challenge. Let's go. First thing that a lot of people need to realize is this is not a classic action RPG, it's an MMO action RPG. The second thing that a lot of people need to realize, especially pro players and those that search for perfection, is that this game is made for consoles primary, and then it was made as the best casual action RPG MMO game ever created. It's a business after all, as the first, and then the game as the second. Gearing up is a bit bland, and when I say bland, I mean it. There is just not enough uniqueness in these items in beta, and after a while you realize it becomes a bit repetitive. Again, it's beta. We only got 5% of the actual game. Crafting is what worries me the most. It's a bit bland and shallow, right? And it reminds me a lot on Diablo 3, and when I say a lot, I mean a lot. 90% of the crafting is from Diablo 3. Low amount of innovation. Dungeons and dungeon crawling in the game, although it looks great, it can become repetitive very fast, and there are a lot of dungeons to do with exactly the same things to do during those dungeons, and they're only there to provide a special upgrade for your weapons. Alright, you unlock a special thing for each class, and that's what the dungeons serve. I pray to God we won't see them in the endgame. We want greater rifts, we want something that's far better than greater rifts in Diablo 3. The skill trees for all classes in beta are extremely small, with low amount of things to do and very few builds per class to do. Every class can be played like in 5-6 different ways tops, and they don't differ as much as they should. Again, this could be beta problem only, and this could be only 10% of the leveling, or better to say on the skill tree, but right now in beta, even though it's fun, it ain't enough, especially for someone that's used to Path of Exile. This game, and I played it with mouse and keyboard and with a gamepad, was obviously made as the game that should be played with a gamepad from your couch on your big screen TV. Way too many drops, especially with legendary items. Those legendary items have very similar stats, and it's kinda, you feel happy for the first legendary, second one, and then when it becomes normal, I ended up the game after 30 hours with above 50 legendaries. This problem can only be solved if they implement 2 or 3 tiers above legendary items, which I believe it's gonna happen. Unique items, set items, nightmare items, legendary items, different colors. So legendaries remain only during the campaign. The UI, even though I like it in design, it's still very simplistic and very console-like. Has nothing to do with a complex UI, for example, from that one in Path of Exile. The worst thing during leveling is no option to level up your attribute points. Attribute points, they just don't even exist, they're just there as a cosmetic, okay? And you boost your attribute points, strength, dex, and so on with items. I'm not a fan of that, but that's how you make it for consoles, I guess. Now, speaking about those pluses and minuses, okay, especially with attribute points, there is no penalty if you miss your build. Okay, you know, you start the build and you say, I wanna play a paladin, like in Diablo 2, with Zeal. And your entire build focuses on Zeal. Like in Diablo 4, you wanna play with Hammer of Ancients, and then you move your entire build, okay, pro line of game, where you're gonna revolve around every item, every attribute point allocation, and everything that Hammer of the Ancients hurt. There's none of that in Diablo 4. Diablo 4 gives player an option, even if they miss their builds, to reallocate all of the attribute points and play 55 different builds for the low amount of coin. You can reset non-stop and play on a go, however you like to. On some side, that's a good thing for a lot of players, but I can already see that pros that look for perfection will hate the game because of that. No freaking penalties for your mistakes. A low amount of gold. I don't even know why they ask for gold for reallocating skill points, because it's very low amount. And that's the reality about Diablo 4. You can't have two different weapon sets at once. I don't know what to think about that. Alright, Barbarian has 4 weapons. Sork has 1 weapon, Rogue has 2 weapons. Range and melee, Barbarian full melee, and Sork, just the weapons are there as a cosmetic basically to boost up stats, so you can enhance your magic spells. By not allowing players to carry different weapon sets, you also limit them to one build. Now, speaking about one build, and probably one of the biggest problems, you can't see your HP bar numbers and your resource bar numbers. You can't see any numbers. You can't see your health above your head. I don't like looking down there at the inventory, checking out for my health and so on. I wanna see health above my character. One mini line. The biggest problem also, no transparent map. It's either a big screen, full map that's gonna stop the gameplay, or the small map you're gonna get in the upper right corner. No transparent map. That's not how you do action RPGs. You need an option for transparent map. Come on, that's like basic stuff. You cannot track multiple quests at once. You can only go with one quest at a time. Very bad decision. You need to be able to track multiple quests at the same time. If I wanna track 10, let me tick and track 10. Why not? The loot filter is completely broken and it's not working, and I don't wanna loot garbage white and blue items in a game. I don't even want them to show once I loot stuff. I pray to God that microtransactions on a full release will remain just for cosmetics, so they don't ruin the overall game balance, the ladder, and the competitive spirit of the game. One of the big problems also that you can spot in this video is way too many similar builds in the game, because not a lot of options are given in this beta. Not enough options in leveling phase. You can literally level up in 3 seconds, and if you fuck it up, don't worry, it's cheap to reset. The game is just forgiving, it ain't punishing enough. Diablo 4 is a perfect game for those that despise Path of Exile. Diablo 4 ain't that good game for those that love Path of Exile. Diablo 4 was made for masses, for a lot of people. Path of Exile was made for very few. Now, quick feedback and what I would like to see changed immediately on a full release. The first one would be camera. Zoom out and zoom in. You can zoom in, but you can't zoom out. This is way too close, this camera angle. I wish that I could zoom out at least 20% more, because I'm playing with mouse and keyboard. I'm not in front of my TV with a gamepad in my hands. I'm gonna play it with mouse and keyboard on a 27-inch, half meter away from me. This is way too freaking close. I wanna zoom out. I wanna see the entire environment around me, the enemies that are coming. For a barb, it's not that big of a deal, but when I played a Sork, I realized that I shoot enemies that are off screen and I don't even see them falling. Camera needs to be zoomed out. Simple as that. The second most important thing that needs to be immediately changed is weapon sets, and even more important would be skill set. Why skill set? There are different builds in a game. You need a build that can clear maps. For example, for Barbarian, you play a build with upheaval that's gonna clear masses of maps. But then, when the boss comes, I wanna be able to switch on the Hammer of the Ancients on one button and whack the boss with a Hammer of the Ancients, cause it deals more damage than upheaval. So you should have one button for two different builds. One build to clear out and loot and farm and crawl through dungeons, okay? And the other to fast up basically your dungeon progress, your exploration. That's one build. And the second build, on a button, when you encounter a boss, you switch to Iron Skin, to Hammer of the Ancients, to Leap, okay? To things to move around the boss and to burst him out. Because when you end up on a boss with upheaval, the fight that should last a minute or two will last 10 minutes because you didn't switch builds. The only way is to stop before the boss, reallocate points for 2.5k, and then you fight him. You just waste your time like 2-3 minutes to reallocate those points in a skill tree so you can fight the boss and kill him fast. One button can resolve the issue, and that's the most important feedback. Give us the option for 2-3 different skills, skill builds, skill tree builds, okay, skill tree 1, skill tree 2, skill tree 3 with different abilities. And they can do that for consoles too. There's enough buttons on a gamepad, I guess, at least for that. Aside from all of the things that I said that are bad, that should be changed and so on, I still believe this is a great game. It's gonna be a great game. I just looked it from the perspective of masses, and in this video I'm looking it from a perspective from someone, and that will be me, that can finish Path of Exile in 2 days and get dirty rich on a maximum level. Okay, I'm equally a casual player and a maniac, depends how I feel like. So I gave you both perspectives in my reviews and now in things that are bad. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'll be seeing you on the next one.